Today we shall discuss about the solar cells. What is the definition of solar cell? Solar cell is also called a photogalvanic cell, and a photogalvanic cell or cell, that is it will convert directly energy to the light energy to the electrical energy. The principle here, solar cell are based on the principle of photovoltaic effect. What are the components of solar cell? Can anyone answer? What do you mean by solar cell? In last class, I told to read about solar cell. Okay, I told that we shall discuss about the solar cell. Can anyone answer what is solar cell?
Ma'am, it is an electrical device that converts the energy of light directly into electricity by a photovoltaic effect.
Okay, and this nothing but here these semiconductors produce electricity when sunlight falls on the surface of that. Okay, here what are the components of solar cell? Here you are able to see, right? What are the components of solar cell? It is displayed on the solar cell panels, one or more batteries, and a charge regulator, controller for standalone system, and inverter for utility grid connected system, and requirement of AC rather than DC wiring. And next is a mounting hardware or framework. These are the components of solar cell. Come to key elements of a silicon solar cell. Before going to the solar cell, why we need a solar cell? What are the needs of solar cell? Can anyone answer? Need of solar cell at remote places. Okay, at remote places we can use a solar cell. This will be easy. Okay, easy method, and it has a low maintenance and long lasting life, and it is sustainable energy. Okay, sustainable power or renewable. Okay, when you come to key elements of a silicon solar cell, first is that is basic elements: substrate, emitter, electrical contacts in that, back contact, front contact, and anti-reflective coating. Is there any problem? Yes? Okay, key elements of silicon solar cell. In that, first is substrate. Here they use a P substrate and N substrate. That may be, it may be unpolished and it may be a base material. Okay, it is a base material. P type is a base material and it is a unpolished material. While doing the while selecting the solar cells or wafer for substrate for solar cell, they need to consider some parameters. First is orientation and resistivity and thickness and doping. These 4 parameters are important while selecting the wafer for solar cells. Okay, and the thickness of wafer also important, and thickness of wafer is used for solar cell is 180 to 300 micrometer. Okay, and the resistivity values are 1 to 2 ohm centimeter, and here the doping is should be close to 5 into 10 to the power of 15 per centimeter cube, and it may be 1 into 10 to the power of 16 per centimeter cube. Okay, the wafer, it may be single crystalline or multi-crystalline. This is about substrate. First, it is a P-type, it is an unpolished P-type wafer. It will be a base material. You can observe this is a P-type substrate and N-type substrate. This is a base material. Okay. While selecting the wafer for solar cells, they will consider the 4 parameters, that is orientation, thickness, resistivity, and also doping. Okay, these parameters they consider. And next, when you come to emitter, okay, here emitter formation involves doping of silicon with a pentavalent impurities. Okay, we have already known about semiconductors. Okay, we have you have read, I think, about semiconductors. And okay, here the emitter formation involves doping of a silicon with a pentavalent impurities. And what are the impurities they take here? Here's that phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony. Okay, impurities are phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony. These parameters, these impurities. Okay, while doping of silicon with the pentavalent impurities. And here solar cell applications, that is phosphorus, is the widely used. Okay, here phosphorus is used more. Okay, next the doping is done by the process of diffusion. Here the doping is done by the process of what? Diffusion. And the basic idea is to introduce that wafer is an environment rich in phosphorus at high temperatures, and due to the concentration gradient, it can be controlled by varying the time and the temperature of the process. And here the doping concentration will be the order of 1 into 10 to the power of 19. Okay, here doping concentration will be order is 1 into 10 to the power of 19 per centimeter cube. Okay, here this junction depth in the range of 0.2 to 1 micrometer. This is also commonly known as N-reason diffused layers. N-reason diffused layers. This is nothing but, emitter is nothing but N-reason diffused layers. In this, you need to remember doping of silicon with pentavalent impurities such as phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony. And here the doping is done by the process of diffusion. And here due to the concentration gradient, it can be controlled by the varying the temperature and also time. Next is here the doping concentration is order is 1 into 10 to the power of 19 per centimeter cube. Okay, and this layer is known as N-reason diffused layer. Okay, next when you come to electrical contacts, back contact, front contact, anti-reflective coating. Here back contact, here metallic conductor totally covering back. Okay, here you can observe this will be back contact. Here downside back contact, this will be front contact. Back contact is located on the side way from the incoming sunlight, and it is a simple, usually consists of a aluminium metal. Okay, it consists of an aluminium metal. What about front contact? Front contact have a, that is a current collection grid of a metallic finger type. It is arranged in such a way that the photon energy falls on that. Okay, N-reason diffused layers. Photon energy falls on a N-reason diffused layers, and the front contact is located on the side facing. The light source is here. You can observe this is a front contact. Front contact. When light falls on the solar cell, a current of electrons flow over the surface. For example, when light falls on this surface, that is a falls on the solar cell surface, a current of electrons flow over that surface. Okay, electrons will be flowing. If contacts are attached at the edges of the cell, it will not work. Okay, we cannot get the more current. It will not work due to the electric resistance of the top semiconductor layer. Okay, if When light falls on the solar cell, the current of electrons will flow over the surface, and if contacts are attached at the edge of, okay, at the edge of a cell, if the contacts are attached at the edge of the cell, then it will not work due to the greater electrical resistance of the semiconductor, okay, top of the semiconductor. If we want to get the maximum current, then the contacts must be placed across the entire surface of the solar cell, okay. The contacts must be placed across the entire surface of the solar cell, then only we get the maximum current, okay. This is what the front contact. Here, to improve the conversion efficiency, the shading effect must be minimized, okay. To improve the conversion efficiency, they are doing that. Shading effect must be minimized. Anti-reflecting coating. Here, anti-reflecting coating are applied. Why we apply means to reduce the reflection and maximize cell efficiency, okay, to increase the cell efficiency, and to reduce the surface reflection. For that purpose only we use a anti-reflecting coatings, okay. In solar glass and also silicon solar cell manufacturing, these they use in solar glass and also silicon solar cell manufacturing. Types of solar cell. Based on the types of a crystal used, solar cells can be classified as monocrystalline silicon cells, multicrystalline silicon cells, polycrystalline silicon cells, and amorphous silicon cells. First, we shall know about the monocrystalline silicon cell. It is produced from pure silicon. Since the monocrystalline silicon is pure and defect-free, the efficiency of a cell will be higher. And when you come to polycrystalline silicon cell, it is a liquid silicon is used as a raw material, and polycrystalline was obtained followed by solidification process. This is a polycrystalline silicon cell. Amorphous silicon cell was obtained by depositing silicon film on the substrate like glass plate. Multicrystalline silicon cell, it is used to be thought that large grain crystals were the most suitable for multicrystalline silicon solar cells, since larger crystals meant fewer grain boundaries. These types of crystallines I will explain in next class, okay. In practical, this is a comparison of type of solar cells. In next class we shall discuss about the practical solar cells, okay. In that class I'll get the images of monocrystalline, polycrystalline, and what is the difference I'll say, okay.